It is 7 o'clock. Do you know where your monsters are? Let me hop on here real quick and put comments up on the big screen because so I can see them. My wife's going to join me here in a bit, but she's not here yet. Gotta mute that. Let's get pop out chat. Make it big. Zoom in for old people. Great. I think we're set. Okay. So now I should be able to see comments from here. Yeah, I should be able to read those. You know what? That's why I'm on wheels, kids. That's why I'm on wheels. That's why I got crazy wheels. Okay. Here we go. Speak of the devil, my wife is coming in right now.
Hello.
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 All right.
I bring with me cups of joy.
Of course you bring in puppies
Would you like me
because
tonight?
they're. What's that?
Would you like me to sit?
I heard you a spot over there
For me?
with power and everything. Okay.
Right. Excuse me.
All right. So, have a plaster head form. It's a me. Right here to start my sculpting process. I'm not even going to worry about what my puppies are eating in the background. I'll keep my wife on it. I put her in a spot to where, yeah. That way, hopefully, she can see some puppies. What you doing there, wife?
I don't want to eat that hair.
Well, you just drew attention to it. Now they're eating all my hair. So I just wanted to sculpt tonight. I am anticipating making some scarecrows here in the future. And I want to have an option that is not your standard burlap scarecrow. And I had an idea of what I want it to look like. So I am just starting. I'm going to do a full head scarecrow tonight. Haven't sculpted a scarecrow in a while. I have 3 hours. I'm pretty sure that I can knock out this scarecrow design in that time. If I plan on stopping at 10, I'm going to stop at 10. So everybody is saying hello. That is a handsome head form. Monsters Alive, I'm sculpting a scarecrow. Michael J. Lassiter, I'm sculpting a scarecrow. Chad Flyboy B, hi. And James Sanger, hi. And hello, Cobwebs and Candlesticks. It was almost been a week since I was live. A lot has happened in the world. I was live last for the Haunt Shopping Network. Almost all of the items I spoke about have been updated on our website. So if you are interested in purchasing something, go to the website. If it's not on the website, feel free to address an email to wife and say, wife, Alan showed this in the video, but it's not on the website. So, yeah. My wife has actually, I hated website work when I was doing it. And I look terrible. I look like I have been living in a cabin in the woods because I have, like a hermit, like all of us have, but I actually live in a cabin in the woods. And I was in need of a haircut before we started.
I don't know what he's doing.
He got caught between the table and the pull-down door.
Had something to update them about the website?
I was just saying that my wife did a good job.
Oh, well, thank you.
I did not like doing website stuff. This was over 10 years ago. I did not enjoy it in the least, and I'm pretty sure I still wouldn't enjoy it. I'm glad that my wife has taken that over.
Okay. Are the scarecrows a custom order or are they a stock character?
You know what? I have some orders. I'm actually waiting on latex. Obviously, there are some supply issues in the country right now. I should have some latex tomorrow. And I am filling other orders. Just out of view are a bunch of, apocalypse helmets and masks and things that I'm doing.
You're
Boy,
a cornhead scarecrow?
not a cornhead scarecrow. Don't do it. It's a terrible idea. No one will like it. And they'll say, "Why the heck is that a yellow snake?" It's not. It's not. It's corn. Never mind. Yeah, it's a yellow snake.
Gotta love that prop making is compatible with social distancing.
It really is. I think every hobby, every good hobby has two aspects to it. One is a social element, and one is a private element. Um, that's true for fishing. That's true for a while. I did some tabletop board gaming, like 40K. Orcs, by the way, because always monsters. And I just every good hobby has that element of there's something you do on your own and alone, and then there's a part of it that you do in a group.
The Hot Shopping Network was awesome.
Thank you. I don't know who said that,
It's
but
cobwebs and candlesticks. Who is awesome?
yes,
You're making him a fish head.
yes, we are making him a fish head.
Rigid foam filled in
Yes.
yellows and greens.
Hey, do you want a pipe going through that to make your mounting your spear easier, or do you just want to freeform it and drill a hole through the foam? Either way is fine with me. And I'm actually waiting to foam your head for a day that is dry, because you don't want to foam when it's wet out, and it has been rainy. I feel like it's been rainy for 6 months here in Texas, but that's not quite true. Maybe 2 months.
The head form looks like Jesus.
It's me. The head form is me.
Got any good reading material in that cabin in the woods, Ellen?
I have the internet, so that's pretty good. I have a lot of, I set some goals for myself, and I'm looking at some new design styles and things. If you, I don't hide stuff. I don't even hide my Pinterest boards. That's what I was just about to say. Is I have some Pinterest boards that I'm working on and adding new things to, and that kind of shows you where my head is at right now, design-wise.
Did you answer whether the scarecrows were a custom order or a stock character?
Oh, you know what? No, I think I started to answer that, and then I kind of rambled and wandered off. Right now, these are not, these are neither. I'm just making them to make them. I want to sculpt, and I had an idea for a scarecrow pop into my head, and so I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to worry about his mouth at all. So I'm changing it.
What kind of dogs are those? They are gorgeous.
These are Great Pyrenees and Springer Spaniel mix. Probably real close to 50-50. Some
Go ahead.
some are a little more Great Pyrenees than others. Some are a little more Springer Spaniel. Luckily, I like both breeds.
Your apocalypse mask kind of sparked a fire in me. I think I'm going to try and build one.
Great, hallelujah, thank you. I was thinking I might see another vendor or two at Transworld this year with apocalypse style masks. I know that Mr. Jimmy is making some that are kind of similar, and I think another guy, and forgive me if I'm saying this name, I think it's Alexander Titanium. That sounds like the name on Facebook. Is making very similar, and I think that there's something that the industry needs. And I enjoy making them, but my heart isn't in them because they're not monsters. And so someone else picks up the torch on those, I'll put it down, you know. But I feel like I might have 2 or 3 more years where I've got to make them until someone else really picks it up. Because the industry needs them. Haunts should have that as an option. It should be a character option. And right now you can't do it unless you make it yourself.
Cobwebs and Candlestick says, no hurry on the spear fish mask. I'm sure you can pipe it for me.
Okay. Do you want the head running sideways or straight up and down?
Love scarecrows. We're sculpting a viral alien torso tonight. Gosh,
Cool.
yes, I didn't say that wrong. Love the show you did. Our virtual show will be live soon as well. I'd love to put yours on our website as well with your permission. That is Monsters Alive.
Yeah, sure. That's cool. I don't. Do you need anything from me to do that?
Okay. This is awesome. It's from Vinny 5150. Cheney has such beautiful color.
He does. He does.
Chad sent me an email this morning requesting to attend the September class. Yep, we got you, Chad. Just haven't had a chance to go through the emails.
It's
Yeah.
been a day,
It's
hasn't
been a
it?
day, dude. We got you though.
It's been such a day that I really sculpting is I think it's therapy for everybody who does it. But there are some times when I just really need to sculpt.
I had to cancel 2 commissions out of concern for the coronavirus. It's Jordan.
Well, that sucks.
I'm sad. Oh, sorry.
I don't. I mean, all my commissions are made here in my shop. I don't have anything that I can't do by myself if I need to. I do have others who do things for me. I could sew, but it's faster and better if Stacy does it. I could pour up all my own masks, but it's faster and I can make more in a short amount of time if I can get Rob to help with that. He's even starting to help with painting and stuff. And the laser, I have to muddle my way through the laser, but Stan, he's my laser guy. He does it awesome. So, I mean, I don't see this slowing down orders. If anything, I'll get orders done faster. Within a month, all my orders right now are going to be out the door. Provided supply chain issues don't pop up more than they already have. I might have to eat some surprise cost because, you know, you might have to ship some latex to yourself instead of go pick it up. That happens.
I'm so sad I won't be at Transworld this year. Time, money, and circumstances didn't line up.
Well, no one's going to be at Transworld this year. It's postponed. So, and they have not announced, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think they should do a postponed show. While it would be nice to see everyone, anybody with skin in the game knows that it's going to be a shell of a show, simply because, you know, not as many attendees will be able to get there. You know, you kind of plan for it all year, and then not as many vendors will be able to get there. So the show that they would produce, if it were a show, would be like a half a show or a third of a show, and I don't want that. Because then you struggle with, do you go or do you not?
I think I could do a dollar store apocalypse hunt.
You absolutely can. You can. Keep in mind sizes. Most of the things, I do a lot of dollar store items on apocalypse helmets. Just keep in mind sizing. You got to look, if you're thinking about a knight's helmet as a base, they're just too small for anything. unless you're making one for kids. But their knobs and drains and doodads are all pretty awesome.
This cobwebs and candlesticks, I believe this is about the spear for the fish heads. Up and down, please.
Okay. No a problem.
What are you sculpting? In below from Dan at Horoscopes Magazine.
Hello, Dan. I'm going to sculpt a scarecrow, actually. I have an idea for a type of scarecrow that I haven't really seen, and I just want to try it out. I'm going to fiddle with it in clay. I think I'll get it done in a couple hours. And time-wise, I have the time to do it, and I want to see it.
Next year, Transworld will be on fire.
You know what? I also think MHC down the road is going to be on fire. I think MHC is going to be huge this year.
Monsters Alive says just your approval is all they need.
Do it. Share away, my friend. Share away.
Say hello to Big Dog.
Hey, big dog.
Dead End Yard Haunt says, I'm building a siren head for Texas Hunters Convention. It's kind of large.
Very cool.
Cobwebs and Candlestick says, you can't yell at Rob by yourself.
That's true. Well, you know what? No, I can call him. And trust me, I have called Rob to yell at Rob. It happens. You know, especially the more I do myself around here, I see how he left things, or like, what the heck are you doing? Why is this like this? He absolutely gets calls from me, getting me yelled at.
Did you make the form you were putting on clay?
I did. It's my head. It's a plaster head. Had a silicone head cast done, and through that silicone head cast, I pour up. My friend Matt Marich actually made a bunch of these for me. I paid him. He made a bunch of these for me because, you know, I used to make masks on them all the time. Build-up masks, like burlap masks. You know what? That might be a good tutorial for YouTube Wednesday. I may do a burlap mask on a plaster head form tutorial. There's a couple out there, but I think enough people are intrigued with that process. It seems less intimidating because you don't have to mold anything.
Jordan says, I'll just make games and sell them online.
There you go.
The postponed suddenly, I don't feel so bad. It's postponed.
You know what? It is postponed. I think it's going to end up being canceled for this year. That's my professional guess. I just don't see it being able to. Cheney, you don't need to go in there. It's probably just passed. Are you passing through, or are you going to try and hang out in that room? This is Bella. Bella wants attention.
Well, you whistled.
You can see that she's shy. Good girl. Good girl. Don't eat that. That's not yours.
MHC should be massive. What's the best and easiest way to make a rake tool?
Let's see if I have a ghetto rake in here. I know I made one recently. Here. So this is a pen, all right, with some steel stick epoxy, and this is the blade of a jigsaw. Now you have to heat the blade of the jigsaw with a blowtorch to break the temper of it. I was about to move the camera because Cheney was chasing his own tail, which was wonderful to see. You have to break the temper on it by heating it up with a blowtorch, and then you can bend it. And this leaves actually real nice rake marks and really cleans up your sculpture. And I'll probably use it on this guy here later. I have a number of them. This is the same, only it's a jeweler's saw, I mean. Or coping saw blades are really good. So, there you go. So I'll tell you guys my concept for this. I'm going to do like a wood elf or straw man type thing. And then I'm going to put a mask on it that almost has a pumpkin feel. That is my plan for this. So it's definitely a creature that is like emulating a scarecrow.
Is it a bag head or jack-o'-lantern head? You scared her.
This guy's going to be completely different. I was just saying, I'm going to make him like a straw goblin type creature, and um, there's a monster that I'm kind of fascinated with, and I've never done anything with it, and it's such a weird concept. I don't think people would get it. But there's a creature from Germanic lore called a corn wolf. And the corn wolf is basically, it's a spirit that protects the field of corn. And at harvest time, and supposedly you can see the corn wolf, every now and then there's a weird wind that goes through the corn, and it looks like something is running through it. Well, that's a corn wolf according to German folklore. And the wolf stops, deer from eating your corn. It stops people from stealing your corn. So he works with you, but at the end, you need to leave a like 2 meter by 2 meter piece of corn unharvested, and the corn wolf lives in there all winter. And you bundle that up, but you don't cut it down. And he lives in there all winter. And then when you plant the new corn, you unbundle it, and then you let the corn wolf go into the new field. So, and that's such a Cheney. Where are you going? Looks like he's passing through to get outside. There's a door to the outside right over there, so he might be going through it. If I hear things breaking, I'll know I was fooled. But anyway, this is not going to be a corn wolf, but that's in my mind that there's this corn-type creature. And that was probably what made me make the corn-faced scarecrow before. That was the wrong direction. I get it. And I just want to play around with some sculpting style that isn't necessarily straight up mine. And I will make this face, and then I'm going to make a mask that goes on top of this.
When the virus scare lifts, the entertainment industry is going to explode.
I think so. I think you're going to have some people coming out of their caves with, with energy that they want to spend on creative things. And as a culture, we tend to consume more than we create. I'm hoping that there's going to be a creation boom while people are home and restless and all that. That'd be nice. But no matter what kind of creation it is, it could be canning. It could be, all kinds of things that you can do.
There's a lot of baking going on right now.
Baking, learn to knit, all that kind of stuff. Those are all real skills that are necessary.
Bill Batchelor would like an Allen head.
You'd like an Allen head? Well, I may actually do a couple, make a nice silicone mold of that so I can reproduce them easily. It's a little labor intensive.
Do you have a video for making head forms?
If you search Alan Hopp's Headcast, you will find a video on Yard Haunter Steve's channel of, I used to hold workshops, and it was at one of my workshops that Yard Haunter Steve had his head cast. We casted my friend Frank's head at the same time. Hello, Linda.
And Amanda Jensen.
Hello, Amanda Jensen.
Do you have a video of how to make the plaster head forms, even though Matt does yours?
Well, he did a couple for me. I think this one he did. I normally make mine because I have the silicone mold, but it's a head cast. Go to Biddy Mold Supply on YouTube, and Biddy Mold Supply has a bunch of head cast videos.
Say hello to Rodney Pope.
Hello, Rodney Pope.
Rodney, we are shipping out your package here soon. Rodney purchased from us. He is in the queue.
Cool.
I was printing up your shipping label. Let's see. I have the Ravenloft game. I've never played it yet.
I don't know where that came from, but Ravenloft is very cool.
Cobwebs and Candlesticks. Jordan was talking about games.
Oh yeah, Ravenloft is a campaign setting that was TSR did many years back, and Ravenloft was basically kind of a monster world. It was very gothic romance type horror with you know, vampires and flesh golems, Frankenstein, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's a very nice campaign setting if you like monsters.
Chad says, have you ever seen gray doggy poop? I hope not, because they're eating the clay.
They do. They love clay.
And plaster.
It turns into it, and I have to stop them from eating plaster. They are ridiculous.
Cobwebs and Candlesticks says, play it. It's a great game. I'm a longtime D&D player. I love Strahd.
He loves what?
Strahd.
I don't know what Strahd is. I used to play a lot of D&D in the day.
Barovia. The novel I Strahd was freaking badass. Istrahd.
Okay. I might actually see if that is on audiobooks, because I do a lot of audiobooks.
Will you be at MHC? I have never been, but probably going this year.
Without doubt, I will be at MHC, provided things go okay at MHC. For MHC, I should say. I will be at MHC.
It's good to know. I am a huge Lord Soft fan, too. Lockhart, thanks for the blood idea. Worked well on Bad Luck Brat.
Awesome. That was a full head zombie that they just made. They have been.
They're just going full speed ahead.
Yeah, they went to one of the monster camps and made masks, and they just haven't stopped.
Which makes us proud.
Yeah, that's you know, that's why I do it. So it's real nice to see that happening.
What do you think will be the next big monster trend in the industry?
Well, you know what? I don't think it'll be apocalypse. I think that people are getting enough apocalypse right now for themselves. I think that fantasy is going to be on a big uptick because reality sucks so bad. Why not push into some fantasy? Fantasy was huge in the 70s, and I think it's going to come back around again. It had a little bit of a resurgence in the 90s with the Lord of the Rings movies and stuff, but not like it was. The books were big, and you know, I think that fantasy is going to kick back up here shortly. This feels a little duck-like to me, so I got to shave this down.
Creative boom, no joke. I just paid for some online classes for magic and acting and such.
Cool.
Linda Forbes is busy making frumpkins, and the dust is killer, I guess. I better go before the boss yells at me for being on my phone. Talk to you later.
Don't get in trouble.
Cobwebs and Candlesticks says, I think killer plants are the next big monster.
You know, we've been doing killer plants for a few years. I don't think you're wrong. I don't know that that is a whole genre to itself. I think that this coronavirus is going to push zombies down the road. I think you'll have less zombies because you know, it's so easy to compare this virus to zombie stuff. I think that's just going to go down the road and not affect us as much anymore, and just not be a thing.
I might have missed if Alan mentioned a video on making a plaster head fort.
I don't have one. I kind of have one. I have a video on life casting, but go to Biddy Mold Supply. Biddy Mold Supply's YouTube channel has lots of videos on life casting.
Hello from Brazil.
Hello, Brazil.
by Dungeon Man 2 said that we did an Audrey 2 puppet 2 years back. That was a huge hit while we were advertising our haunt for charity.
Cool.
Cobwebs and Candlestick says, I'm going to do an animatronic killer plant.
Awesome.
Hiya, Alan and Shannon. I love the idea of a corn wolf and would definitely love to see you sculpt it. Lots of love from Hillary and UK Graham. Day 1 of lockdown.
Hooray.
Hey, guys.
You guys are only on day 1. Rookies.
Dead end yard hunt. I went to Biddy today for a gallon of latex.
Yeah. I'll be swinging by there tomorrow, actually.
Ravenloft is awesome if you have a good dragon master. DM. Strahd is the vampire lord that rules Barbaria.
Gotcha.
Oh my god, still beast, I had no idea where you were until I realized I never tapped the bell for notifications. How the hell are you? Sean, Kijak. I'm not sure how to say your name, Sean, but hello.
Hello.
I can get 30 Ultra Cal 30 for $29, 50-pound bag. That's a big dog.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
That's freaking yard. Where do you get the Apocalypse eye covers with the wire mesh?
I make them. I buy eye covers without wire mesh, and I pop out the lenses, and I put wire mesh in them.
Do you think a zombie movie would be offensive during our current pandemic?
I don't think it would be offensive. I just think it wouldn't be well received. I don't think that's what we're about right now, and that's where our focus is as a consuming nation. I think we're somewhere else.
His last name is pronounced Kayak. Thanks for not butchering it. Oh, I'm trying. We are impressed with the quality and creativity of your characters. Congratulations. I hope you get more time for new videos.
Well, the world is getting more time for stuff, aren't they? I'm hoping that I can take advantage of that, and you'll probably see some YouTube Wednesdays coming down the pipe.
Jordan says, any sheep ghost ideas yet?
Frankly, I always have sheet ghost ideas, but I always have all kinds of ideas. Sheet ghosts are merely a player, and all the world is a stage. So here's what I'm going to do. I was going to sculpt the mask over this, but I think I'm going to sculpt this character and then do the overmask, because I wanted the overmask to look pumpkin-y. I think I'll do the overmask in EVA. And I think that could look really nice. Because you could get that to look a lot like pumpkin flesh, you know? And that lets me do some other fun things.
Ross Riker says, are you ready for a lame joke?
Okay, I don't want to turn into lame jokes, but you can do one. You can do one. I don't want the comment section to be lame joke after lame joke after lame joke.
It is impressive how quickly the face took shape.
Well, let's see how much I'd have to change on it, because that's where I'm at right now. This I don't mind, but this I'm not happy with at all, so I got to tighten that up. I think I'm just going to add some nostrils on this and see where that takes me. But what's hard is that when I do them like this, when I do masks like this with a live video, I don't have my reference up most of the time. Because my reference I always play on my computer or look at on my phone. So this is bad, it's your fault. My dog's in the room. Yeah.
Okay, Ross says, knock knock.
Who is there?
Waiting. This is the one joke of the night, right?
Yes.
This is it. Just one.
Yes. Unless it's so terrible I need a cleansing joke.
Bob Dylan. Not who's there, Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan who?
All right, we're ready.
So all the straw stuff is going to be texture. I think I want to widen this mouth.
It's knocking on heaven's door.
So like Bob Dylan, who is knocking on heaven's, like you got to work the who into it. That wasn't very good.
Said it was lame. Okay,
Yeah.
what you said about pumpkin flesh, the little ridges on a pumpkin?
Yeah, and plus it has the same shine and sheen and smoothness, you know. I always sneer this side of the face, and I think it's because, like my face, I don't do that side very well, but I do this side much better. Like this was my job for a couple years. I made this face for 40 hours a week as a hunchback at Skull Kingdom. So I tend to mirror. This is the side I see snarled in the mirror. So I think that's why I always do this side a little bit. Interesting.
Ross says, get it? Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
I get it, but you got who in there. You can't just,
You're working too hard.
knock knock, and then they say who, and who isn't in the song.
You're working very hard on it.
I am working hard on it. Okay, I'm gonna
Big
make,
Dog says, yes, that was lame.
yeah, that was a pretty terrible joke.
Everyone here in Brazil already knows that you are also a good dancer. Sorry for the indiscretion. Good dancers. Is that from the
Probably from the live video.
from the live video?
Yes, Ivan and I were shaking our money makers.
Okay.
Yeah. We were getting down with our bad selves. All right, so I've changed up this. I don't know what's happening here, but let's give this more of a downturn.
Sounds more like a pumpkin person, not a scarecrow, unless the costume will include some kind of wood plank.
Yeah, well, this is the whole concept is that this is a like straw type of goblin-y creature wearing a pumpkin mask to be a scarecrow. He's camouflaged.
Shannon, do you have everything loaded on the still piece page or good to go? Hey, Michelle, we are also sending out your package. We got you packed up tonight. Alan is holding back on a few surprises that he does not want to.
I just don't feel the time is right for everything.
He doesn't want to reveal them yet. Today I put on the apocalypse masks, the werewolves, and most of the hairy and scary. We're about to put the suits on, the hairy and scary suits, and all the hats are up. So we still have a few more, but I would say we're about
80?
80% done. We do still have a few surprises, and he of course got in the shop last night and made some new things that I was not expecting on another apocalypse line, so those will be coming soon. But holding a few surprises back, but there will be a few more this week. I don't know when the last one was that you wrote. Hello from Maine.
Hello, Maine. If that's your real state.
Those do look awesome. Scott Coldheart, thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Jordan says, maybe the stem is a clipped horn. Stacy Hawkins, shocked I tells you.
Well, I didn't. What I'm going to do is these are going to be little pokes of straw kind of coming up, is what I'm hoping for. there's what you have in your head and what your sculpting ability will allow you to do. So I'm gonna do what my sculpting ability will allow me to do, which may not match what I have in my head, but I would rather make something cool than be so stuck to what's in my head that I do it poorly. So we'll see. And this is evolving. I don't have this laid out 1000%, like by any means.
Says, yay, thank you. No, there is more I'm looking at, so we'll hold off till you get it all loaded on the website. Can't wait to get my package. Yeah, Michelle, we got you ready to go. And we'll get you out this week. Chad, I'm putting this as my thing to do on days I can't fly or after dark to calm my mind even more.
Good. Yeah, this is a good way to do that, to kind of calm down.
Cobweb says, just trying to keep spirits up because I'm still working full time.
Yeah, we've slowed down a little. We're not working full time. But I even have things that I could do at home. What I basically done is I took all the time I was going to take for Trans World anyway, and I took that time. I stayed home from work because I'd run myself ragged getting ready, and then kind of you don't have any release basically when you don't go to the show and see your friends and all that stuff. So. Big tooth, not as big a tooth, not as big a tooth, canine tooth, tooth, canine tooth. It's the middle tooth.
Lynn McCain says, me too, full time and still making props. Line cook for Jamie Baxton says, I've been off work for a week now. Cobwebs and Candlestick says, hell yeah, Glenn, we have to get our Halloween on.
I don't know what I'm going to do yet to make this guy's mouth special, and that's such a weird sentence. But something has to happen with his teeth or whatever. But yeah, this guy is going to feel very plant-based. He's going to feel very plant monster, kind of. And I made a tool a while ago to do one thing. And now I'm going to ask it to do another thing. This is the tool that I made. Very high-tech. I'm using it, I'm pushing it in to get differentiation in my teeth. Okay. Tooth. Let's see if I can just put those in there. Tooth. Now that's good.
Jensen, I'm just happy rebooking to go to Monster Camp was easy for me. Good. We got your email, Amanda.
You know what?
Taken care of.
We're going to make it work. What a crazy time. I don't want anybody to violate laws to get here. And I'm afraid people would do that. Hunt County, our county, just went on stay at home today.
Yeah, it's like,
So, I mean, everybody is getting that, stay at home ban. Don't leave. And I was kind of waiting for these ears to stiffen up just a little bit in the air. They haven't stiffened up much. But, and this is nowhere near final texture. But I do want to put a little bit on here just so I can see what's happening with it.
bag where it just spits out pumpkin seeds. It says, hey, that's where my teeth went. Big Dog says, damn porters. Third degree of terror. Hi, folks. Hey, Warren, we got your email about the claws.
Yeah. And that's another item we're going to add to the website soon. We just haven't had time.
You like the Bigfoot claws.
Well, this is not the tool I want to be using. Um, there we go. This will shape these guys better. I'm just trying to cut them to the shape I need. I could give up here and just do pumpkin teeth. And that's a distinct possibility. If teeth take me more than like 20 minutes, you'll see me make that choice. Over and over again.
Oh, well, let's see, chat. Do you think after the rush come to camp or schedule, the host hotel will have enough rooms for us?
I think so. I think so because people aren't dying to get into Quinlan, Texas. I'll tell you. Yeah, we're not a resort town or anything like that.
We are a little town.
And frankly, there's plenty of hotels nearby, and that seems a little weird for the area that we're in. But within 20 minutes, there's plenty.
Go ahead and make your reservation. Always cancel.
Yeah, I mean to cancel a reservation costs nothing, so make it. Make it now.
We just want you guys to get here. So I grabbed 2 loaves of bread, and the guy next to me grabbed 6. I was like, what the heck? Cobwebs and candlesticks. Let's see. We have 2 confirmed cases in my city, but we still have to go to work. Rodney Pope, going to email y'all for a price on the full hairy costume. Rodney, which costume was it?
Yeah, which one? Because the answer is probably 900 with stilts. Without stilts, cheaper, 400.
But which one?
But there's a couple differences too. So, but we'll go over those and list them and all that.
My Dungeon Man 2 says, and I'm back. Admit it, y'all missed me. Yes, we missed you.
Yes, I could definitely tell you were gone.
Wow, it's amazing progress Alan's made since I left.
I'm not here to hang out.
Rodney, the full costumes will be going up on the website this week. And they're in, gosh, you get a lot of colors. Black, white, brown, gray, red, a beautiful red, and then this amazing green.
And a nice blended gray and brown
It's beautiful.
for your elder werewolves and Bigfoots.
Do you think we will get haunted houses open this year?
Yes, I do.
Rodney Pope says, no stilts, undecided about which one yet. We'll have pictures up for you soon so you can see.
If you look at China, the first case showed up in November, and right now they're closing all their hospitals and coming off of their lockdown. So that's 5 months. They did not know it was coming, so we kind of knew it was coming. I'm not saying we're super prepared for it. Obviously, we're being overrun on some things, but a lot of it's just mass panic. People are buying things they don't need. So in 5 months, that's August. So I think in August we're going to have consumers whose heads are popping out of the sand, and they're going to be ready to be entertained. You know, a big reason why I'm live tonight. What's there to do? You know, a lot of folks are stuck at home, or they're stuck somewhere, and I just, you know, if I can go live and you can hang out with me for a little while, and that makes you less lonely or less bored or whatever, then let's do that. Because it keeps me from being lonely and bored too. Now, these teeth are big, but I
Kimberly, Colorado says hello.
don't mind the shape of them.
Cobwebs and Candlesticks says that the 2-tone color fursuits were awesome.
Yeah, you know what? It's a degree of realism you don't normally see in fun fur. Fur they normally have, and there's just a pattern that repeats. There's a fur pattern that repeats in them, and it doesn't look good on a big monster. And th- these are such a boon to the industry. I, I'm not just saying that because I kind of brought them over, but I really think that it's revolutionary if you wear fur. And I'm a wolf man a lot of the time. I love being a wolf man. So this is going to make me more comfortable when I'm working.
Rodney, keep your eye out. We will post the link to the website on Still Beast on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, and if you follow Still Beast there, we'll post the link later on this week when we get it completed. Kimberly, Colorado is Connie and Locke Pierce's niece. Hello.
Oh, awesome.
Hugo, are you in Brazil? We will wait. We will buy the moving jaw werewolf brown mask next week as the logistics are chaotic to arrive imported products in our country.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
And
Yeah.
if we're shipping to Brazil, and I believe you are Brazil, we'll have to calculate the price for shipping out of the country to you. So we'll get that to you. It'll take a couple of extra steps. Ross Riker, FYI, I work for Home Depot. We are open, but our hours changed.
Yeah.
Monday through Saturday is 6 to 6. Sunday is 8 to 6.
Yeah, I saw that. Those are things I have to take note of with what I do.
I'm sure customs are going to be held for a few months. Dead in Yard Pond. When the money pipeline starts back, I will buy one of those fur suits. Which color?
They're amazing. They really are astounding in what they are for the money. And I'll be honest with you, the price is going to have to go up down the road. Right now, me and the manufacturer, we're feeling each other out and seeing what we can do. And I'm taking advantage right now of a price he quoted me off the hip that I don't think they can sustain. But at $400, the suit's worth it.
Chad says, I think the teeth sculpting is going to end up being my favorite to do when sculpting.
You know what? The teeth make the monster. Nothing else on a creature makes it stand out or makes it, pop as much as the teeth does. And I'm kind of going for imagine if a gorilla was made out of straw and natural materials. That's sort of what I'm looking at and going for here.
I love the full costume of the Gravedigger also.
You know what? I knew he would be nice, but the first time I saw him all together, because I had been, collecting pieces and putting pieces together and getting everything ready, I hadn't seen it all together. The first time I saw it all together was that live video.
Even the depot got to change their hours. Stupid Corona.
You know what? Here's what it gets me, okay? I'm thrilled that we're doing this. Yeah, there's some grumpy pants people, but what we're doing is we are upending all of our lives to save the lives of people we may not know. And that is remarkably human. I don't know of any other animal species that does that. We are trying to save the lives of people we don't know. Maybe people we know, but think about how much upheaval we are putting on ourselves. And you think 3% death rate. Well, it's a 3% death rate if it's a 3% death rate if you can handle it in your medical facilities. But if they don't have the right equipment and they don't have the right gear, and if they don't have the bed space or the ventilators, because there's estimates between 50 and 70% of the population is going to get it. You're just going to get it. But then 80% of them are going to be fine. It's the 20%. 20% of 50% of our population There's still a lot of people who need hospital care, who need treatment, more than over-the-counter meds. There's two strains of virus. I think it's a type S and a type L. I am by no means an expert, but if you're not reading up on it and learning and listening, then you just have to hear it from somebody else. And I'd rather not do that.
It'd be cool if the gravedigger made this to scare off grave robbers.
That's an excellent idea. Thought of that.
That was Ross Reichert who did the lane joke.
High five. You're redeemed.
Hey, you didn't show a Quasimodo during the Haunted Shopping Network stream, did you?
I didn't, did I? You know what? I don't think the time is right for him. I had one of the issues I was going into Transworld with in my brain is that I feel that I have too many cool new products, and when you do that to people who come into your booth, they get decision fatigue. If you can say, wow, we have these two new things and they're awesome. But if they come into my booth and I say, I have this, 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 they'll go, that's amazing. I'm going to make a decision later and come back, and you never see them again. And that's okay, but I don't mind trickling out the ideas so that each one has its own little time and place to shine. Decision fatigue is a real thing. It's huge, and it happens. Now let's start detailing this guy as far as. No, I don't want to start figuring out his skin texture yet, because I'm not even happy with my forms right now. I wanted this elongated chin, and I'm getting it.
James Minnick says, I make my own Paladin characters from my own self.
That's awesome.
Big Dog says that he wants to see Quasi, please.
It's coming. It's coming. Let's give it a few weeks.
Glenn McCain says, man, that's deep, Alan. Get me in my feels. Cobwebs and Candlestick says, I rewatched the stream to see what I missed, and it dawned on me, no Quasimodo.
Yes, not yet. It's ready to go. It's sitting in the other room, ready to go. I opted not to show it. I didn't even prep it for that day, because we had so much cool stuff, and already it was an hour long. That's a long time for me to ask people to sit and watch something. And I want to be respectful of your time.
Tutwork Studio says, I am 5'2", 100 pounds. Do you have small, lightweight stilts? Big Dog says, use Rob's.
We do. Rob is 5'6" and 160, I think.
Big Dog.
But yes. Now, here's something I want you to consider, okay? At 5'2", there's a whole bunch of characters that you can play effectively that I can't. I felt cursed as an actor for a long time because I'm average height. I'm 5'11". I slouch and I walk around at about 5'8". When I stand up straight, I'm 5'11". Maybe only 5'10 and a half. Who knows? It's been a couple years. But I kind of felt cursed because I had to play everybody in the middle. And I discovered stilt walking as a option to allow me to play different things. And you can do that. At 5'2", you can certainly do that. But don't forget to explore the characters that you can play at 5'2" that I can't pull off because I'm a bigger guy. So all I ask is that don't go to stilts right away. What I normally say is anybody like 5'5" and under, don't put them on stilts. Let them be something really cool that they are an appropriate height for. Goblins characters are so cool. There's a lot you can do with it. Evil fairy characters, yes, you may be a dude. Who cares? Evil fairy characters, and male fairies. Creepy as hell. A couple reasons. Just there's so much that you can do at a smaller size. I'm a crappy businessman. I'm trying to talk you out of stills, but what I'm trying to do is you have been given a gift of size where you are not the average, and that's in this industry all that we're all trying to do. The reason we wear masks, the reason we're trying to stand out, and you have been given a gift where you stand out a little bit automatically. So there you go. All right.
I work hardware auto parts counter all day in law enforcement after, so I pray every hour I'm not exposed to the virus. Gene Sanford says, what is up?
Hey, Gene.
Let's see. Thanks for going live tonight. Came down to my shop to work on some stuff and was hoping you would be on. Bob Bowie.
You know
Robert,
what?
Robert Bowie, you bought a plague mask from us, and we got you packed up, so you'll be getting your package here soon. I'm pretty sure Bob Bowie and Robert Bowie are the same person. Check.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. Provided Transworld is canceled, do you think MHC will be a Transworld light?
Yes, I do, because I think that a lot of vendors made stuff for cash and carry, and we want to move it. And I think the best place to do that is MHC. My MHC stash is going to be much bigger than normal. Normally, I don't have any. I have to really work to get things for MHC because time-wise, I'm still making orders from Transworld. Don't have that problem this year. And who knows what's going to happen industry-wide? What change will come about? Maybe this forces people from Transworld who were going to go to Transworld will now go to MHC, and that just becomes a much better show. Who knows?
Cobwebs and Candlestick says that he thinks MHC will be on fire, all backed up from Transworld. Ryan Frode does amazing goblins and fairies.
Ryan
Chance-
Froud,
Froud, sorry.
Wendy Froud's husband. I believe when Brian and Wendy Froud worked on the Lady Coddington's Pressed Fairy book. They also have one called Goblins. Yes, they have a very good art style. They did a lot of the art design for the Dark Crystal. Just saying.
Your latex paint mix works great for LARP weapons. Quite the revelation. Cheers, dude.
That's awesome. Thank you. LARP weapon, LARP fighting, something I would love to get into. Obviously I'm a man of many passions, and just time is very difficult. But I would love it. When I was at the Renaissance Festival, I loved sword fighting. That's my favorite part. We were able to do some live fighting fun. This is going to be a Alexa, what time is it?
It's 8:05 p.m.
Okay. I'm 1 hour in. I feel my progress is good for an hour, especially now that I know I'm not going to do the pumpkin face on the outside of this in clay. I'm going to do it in EVA foam.
Hello to the wife. Appreciate you sounding off for us, guys. It's my pleasure. Makes it easier for him to work, too. I coat my prop weapons in fiberglass.
Cool.
LARP is crazy fun, Alan. I play as shopkeeper because I'm a terrible swordsman.
I would definitely play a barbarian of some kind, because I'm a barbarian of some kind. I love sword fighting. It's one of my passions. I've always said I'm good at three things: fighting, loving my wife, and scaring people. Luckily, one of those I can make a living at.
And liking this guy, there's a reason for everything and a rainbow behind every sunlit rain. All will be good in the end.
So, yeah, and I was, you guys might have seen a video that Transworld put out with me and John LaFlamboy and Ben Armstrong, and they kind of wanted me because I'm a haunt runner. Yeah, I manage a haunt, a big haunt, I direct a haunt, and I'm a vendor, so they wanted me on there. And before we went live, we were doing a lot of talking, and I feel like a lot of good is going to come out of this. I feel like a lot of good is going to come out of this. So, and some of those things being, is it going to hurt the economy? Yes. What happens in a bad economy, though? Real estate kind of comes into check. And the whole country has had a real estate bubble. And if this pops that real estate bubble, then more haunts can open because there's going to be more empty buildings and there's going to be more reasonable rates. You're going to have some hungry landlords who just want something to come in. You're going to have some shopping complexes who like, please bring people back to our shopping complex. Because there's going to be a little carryover of people being afraid of large crowds. And, you know, we're going to have to fight through that a little bit. I think haunts are going to have to change their line setup. They're going to have to change some things. But I thought most haunt lines suck anyway, because the people are in turns that are so tight that they become, you know, little squares of hate because people keep compounding up on top of each other. And if you can fix that issue, haunts, I think, can lengthen out their line to make their lines technically longer. Look at what Disney does. Look at what Universal does. It's that same kind of thing.
Have you always been a Ren Fair guy, or have you ever done the SCA?
I've never done SCA. I've always been more Ren Fair than SCA. This is going to sound a little weird to some people. I'm a bit money motivated, so I've always, as far as my pursuits and passions, I have always wanted to monetize because I know what I like to do, and I want to do that. The way to do that is to get paid for it. So I've always found ways to monetize the things that I like doing. And it's very tough to monetize the SCA. And I fell easily into monetizing the Renaissance Festival. I am not going for pumpkin right now. I am just putting in some hard lines that I'm going to, this is my base, and I'm going to run some straw, I think, over this. And I got to make these look like little bundles of straw up here at the top. And no, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but I know it's what I want to do.
This past weekend, I built around 100 LED mini spots using your tutorial. Can't wait to put them in my haunt. Thanks as always.
You know what? People want to buy me beer every year at Transworld because I save them money on mini spots. That is a video that just keeps people keep watching it. They keep it stays in my top 10 videos. It does good for people, and that makes me very happy.
I'm 6'2" with bad knees, so not sure stilts are for me. I'd love the mask with them, but
Once again, you're over 6 foot. You don't need stilts. You know, it's the guys who are 5'5", 5'7". We kind of need stilts. You know, I'm 5'10", 5'11". I'm in there. It's an option for me. I can be a decent sized guy on the ground, but you know, better if I was 6 foot. I might have discovered stilt walking and my joy for it. Okay, so I need to powder this because right now I've got a lot of little fuzz balls on it, which are little just clay balls from the tools. There's a suitable brush. I'm going to baby powder the heck out of this thing. and that's going to stick to these little balls of clay. So instead of rolling down the sculpture, they're going to be coated in powder, so they won't roll down the sculpture, they'll fall off. That's what this is doing, is this is keeping the little balls of clay from sticking. They'll just fall off. Before, they would have just stuck somewhere else. I would just be moving them around. But this is a coating. Kind of like when you don't want dough to stick to your fingers.
Do you think Times ticketing for haunts will become more popular post-corona?
Yeah, it's slowly becoming more popular anyway. We are slowly planning the lives we lead online and then going to live them. And that's okay. I think it'll become more popular? Yes, that's the short answer. But it was becoming more popular anyway before Corona even hit. This guy needs more on this side.
I was going to call you when I was planning to visit my son in McKinney, but had to cancel my trip.
Oh, I hear you. I understand that.
I used to fight in the SCA many moons ago, miss it, but my body constantly reminds me why I don't do it.
I've fought a lot of SCA guys. I really like it. I enjoyed playing with the SCA heavy guys.
I used to, oh, sorry. Ren Fair brings back a lot of good memories. I worked it for you.
I used to, there's a group called ARMA, which is kind of another national fighting group. They're less history reenactment and much more just fighty. And I got to play with those guys quite a bit. They would actually come out to fair on a couple weekends, and I would just clear my schedule for the day and just fight with them all day. What a blast.
I'm 6'6", and I have a hard time finding a monster to play.
What? No, you don't.
I'm right at 6 foot, and I'd love to be a character, but if I want to have a haunt, I have to be the guy running around handling things.
Yep, doesn't that suck? I have to do that sometimes. It's terrible.
So is the clay reusable once powder is added, or the paint over the clay used before a hybrid powder?
Yes, it's reusable, but I'm not going to reuse it. This clay is so cheap, I'm not going to reuse it. So yes, I could reuse it, but I'm not going to. It's not because I'm a terrible person who doesn't care about the environment. I mean, it's dirt, for crying out loud. Okay. These guys, I don't want them to seem like horns, so I'm going to flatten them.
Since you could play Slenderman or Wilt Chamberlain and Clear the Destroyer. Beat Frankenstein's monster.
Oh yeah, I mean, a good Frankenstein. I played Frankenstein a couple nights, like never for a season or anything. Oh, so fun. So fun. For some reason, as Frankenstein, I took to yelling potato as a scary word. So I'd be chasing people and I'd go, potato! And they don't really understand or know what you're saying. They just run from you. So that's fun.
Or are you sculpting?
I am, I'm making a scarecrow, believe it or not. But I want to make the type of scarecrow that you've never seen before. Now, that isn't, I had an idea for a type of scarecrow, which is a creature, like this is the original creature that scarecrows are made for. I think he eats birds. Yeah. That's why crows don't want to go near them.
You guys in the chat are making me feel super short. I'm 5'9". Will the powder affect the work time of this clay?
I don't care. Simply because this is probably going to get molded in the next couple days. So it's not, work time isn't a big deal. Will it dry it out a little faster? Yes, and that's nice. That's what I want. Now I'm going to zoom you guys in, and you guys should see like that look that I'm going for.
Just wanted to let you know the change on paint you did to the Apocalypse Mask line really amazing. You see that on the website, Chad?
And
We haven't even advertised it yet. It's live, but we didn't even. People are picking the website. That's
literally, I made that call at 2 p.m. and we went live at 7. I wanted Haunts to have an option of something that they could get to make relevant social media posts. And for right now, and what is the world? What's relevant right now? Only coronavirus. I mean, we're not even talking about the election anymore. It's over. That's. Is it still happening? I'm sure it's still happening, but it's not newsworthy. It's page 5, you know.
Yes, Chad saw it on the Haunters Shopping Network. That's Big Dog says, how come whatever he starts to smoke looks like my ex-wife?
Well,
Always Big Dog.
looking for a tool that I have, but I haven't seen it in a while. I think I took it to dark hour and left it there, and that's a problem. Those bunch of jerks have my good tools. See if I can make one. I want my widest possible. Oh, I don't want to show that. That's APOC masks. Just hang out right there. I need my widest possible tongue depressor. There we go. Let's cut it. I'm going to put a few holes in it with the Doreo.
QVC should really do a couple of Hunt Shopping Network every year. We have more people who have asked us to do that again. Maybe the next time we won't do it in a tiny box.
I like my tiny box.
I know. Love this tool he's getting ready to make.
How do you know you love it? This could be crap. It's actually highly likely. Might not even work. That's just something so I don't drill too much into my table.
It'd be funny to add a wood knot on his head and say he's got a knot on his head.
Sounds like a Rob idea. Few holes. And I think I'm going to cut it a little more. Let's see how this do.
black. I have faith that this is going to be an awesome tool.
It's not. Didn't work.
Like a child of an orchid and a gourd.
Did not work at that size. So those holes are too small for the clay to go through effectively. I could probably do it with a bigger, but if I'm going to do it with bigger holes, then I have another method of doing it that will work just fine. I was hoping to get some finer straw.
It's heavy, the black iron hook and fiberglass skull give it some real weight. It's a solid piece.
What is he talking about?
Sure, cobwebs and candlesticks. Where are you? Chad Smith, that reminds me, have you used a lemon zester when sculpting? Seen them on Stan Winston's, and I really want to get one.
Yeah, that's the tool that I don't have right now. That's the tool that I left at Dark Hour.
Can't use one.
I like them.
Use your extruder.
I
Cobwebs
could.
and candlesticks was answering for. Sorry. Would a cheese grater work?
No.
I know which one you're talking about. It's like a rice.
It just naturally would chew up the clay, I think.
I'm trying to make that real delicate.
You know what? I have an idea. I have another way to make this. Kitchen is too far away. Anybody got time for that? You can do it with wire. Okay, that seems like plenty. Don't cut wire with your scissors, kids. It's bad for them. All right, and now I'm going to make a collection of loops.
Hello, hope you're both well. Thank you. That
Howdy.
was Spook Shack SPFX. It's a giveaway plaque. I built it for my channel.
Oh,
Angel
very
Hair
cool.
Press. Interesting. Homemade is the best way. What about the drill? What about drill the clay and use the slivers?
That's not a terrible idea. I've heard worse.
Stacy Hawkins says, as long as they're not the sewing scissors, you're fine.
You really shouldn't do it with any scissors. So now I think what I have done is made a little series of wire loop tools. Little brass knuckles. Brass knuckles for leprechauns. Wire wrapping this around this stick. I'm hoping these are going to be cutty enough. And if you don't know what I mean by cutty, well, you're bad at guessing what made up words mean. Now a little bit of electrical tape, I think, to bind that together.
If it doesn't work, maybe squeeze it through a screen.
A screen would give me square straw. I want round straw. Cobwebs, I'm not one of those stingy dudes. Why don't you throw up a link?
I wasn't able to watch the entire video from the dwelling you did at dark hour on the giant mold. How did it all come out when you pulled it?
Great. Okay, so now we're cooking with gas. Now I'm getting these fine little rivulets like I wanted. Except, they're curling up on me.
Cobwebs and Candlestick says, I don't know how, I'm not Scott.
Just go to your channel,
Scott's good.
and up in that window, copy and paste, and then paste it in my comments.
Michael Lassiter did it.
Okay, so that's getting me some ribbonage. And those are nice and small. That's good. But I'm not. I think I need to lay this on one at a time, or I can do the opposite, because this texture looks a bit too much like wood or driftwood to me. And I definitely want it to feel like bundles of straw. This is better. Because this tool leaves this very even. But if I mix it up and break it up a little bit, I think this could actually work well.
Straw has leaves.
Most straw does. This straw doesn't. At this stage in its life. And it looked like I was, a good chunk of the way done. But it wasn't where I wanted it.
Spit out leaves with an exact blade. Cobwebs and Candlestick says, I'm not a tech guy at all. I'm a caveman. But I'm still cool.
You are indeed.
So cool, Alan.
Let's see how this do. And then I think a few over top of this will make this feel better. If you want difficult, try sculpting a bundle of sticks. And you're not just telling yourself it looks like a bundle of sticks.
Could you use real straw and once coated with a non-stick before casting would be okay?
I think it'd be a nightmare. Is it possible? Yeah. But I think it would be a nightmare.
Cobwebs and Candlesticks. That's sad that Scott got my own link faster than I did. Scott is supernatural.
Scott's the man.
He is.
This is what Scott does.
If this is made of bundles of straw, we would sculpt in something holding it together.
No, because I think that this is. He's not technically made of bundles of straw, but he looks enough like it. If you had to make him, that's what you would use. Does that make sense?
Scott is the freaking man. It's amazing. Makes all the sense in the world, Al.
Because this is the creature that made farmers start making scarecrows.
Will you cast this in plaster or silicone? I agree that straw and plaster sounds like a recipe for frustration. Engineer chick.
Engineer chick!
Engineer chick!
You're awesome, and my
You
dogs
are
love you.
Awesome, engineer chick.
And tell them why, honey.
Oh, engineer chick, so sweet. Sent puppy toys to our puppies. 3 of them, very wise. They have carried them all over the place. They're soaking wet right now because we had rain, and they took them outside and played with them, so now they're wet. But they're these squeaky octopus pool toys, and they love them. Of course, they will pick one that is the favorite, and then that's the one that they want. That one has it, they all want it, and they just chase each other. And that we were going to hit the code on there so we could write you back, and it's been so crazy. And but we got you now, so thank you so much. That was incredibly generous of you to send presents to our dogs. That is that you're our kind of people to love animals. So thank you so much. It was so sweet. It's like, oh my God, get her. Okay, a braid of twine around the neck.
It's possible.
It's our lives now, not the election. Worry about my daughter. She's on infusions for chemo. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's the truth. These kind of events really help you focus on what's important. And I think the world needed it.
Are you going to put Krampus lights in the eyes?
I was not going to make this mask for that.
Corn husks come to mind over the straw.
I was thinking about a collar of corn husks.
So glad they like them. Lots of legs to chew off. Yes, they like that it squeaks, and I'm not sure how long they're going to last. Alan actually got some video of us giving it to him. We'll have to share that. It's so cute.
Okay, so that looks more straw-like to me already. But I need to go in like I have over here and put these pieces on top to break up. It's too uniform right now.
Since you take us away from reality, thank you. Maybe the twine around the neck is out. The necklace it wears with the skulls of the birdies it's eaten. I know Alan has a bird skull necklace. I bought one or two at Transworld a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
Because of the time zones, I will have to leave now, then watch the entire recording. Co-orbital embrace to the whole family, including the living pets. Thank you so much for the contact. That is Hugo. I believe Hugo is in Brazil.
Hooray!
Cordial embrace.
Sorry you have to run, Cordial.
Cordial embrace. Hugo.
Hugo, sorry you have to run.
Hugo. Very nice to have you with us. You can get a real bird skulls on Etsy.
You can, but that's gross. Then you have to handle dead things. No one likes dead things.
Had an idea for you, but probably be more aggravation than it's worth. Put some cooked spaghetti noodles into the clay to get the straw. After you mold it, pressure wash the noodles out.
That's not a terrible idea. I don't mind that idea. It's a good idea. It's also awesome out of the box thinking. I'm not going to do it, but I do like the idea. And I'm not going to do it. I'm pretty sure I can accomplish what I need to accomplish here. So this guy is just too big to go in all my detail. So I just real quickly made this guy, which will go into details. You know, I've got some areas like in here. And these are real close to the same size straw as the other ones.
Are you going to give this unique proto-scarecrow a cool, mythical name in the vein of the Wendigo or something similar?
Man, I suck at naming monsters. I was probably this something really cool like Scarecrow number 7, because I've made a lot of scarecrows in my time. So the answer is I'm not sure, and I don't know.
The Choro monster. His name is George now. Are you going to swing around a dead possum?
He will not swing around a dead possum, as that is already being done. That is the shtick of someone else in my party, so I will let them do that. Yeah, this is helping me detail nicely.
Call him the Knot Man, not the Anthrax Knot Man, though.
Okay. So let's set this back up and put some of those uppers on there.
Gotta go to bed. 1 a.m. is coming. We'll watch later. That's Big Dog.
All right, big dog.
He needs to carry a big feathery thing with bird blood on his lips, implying he's having a snacky snack.
Like a flapping wing hanging out of his mouth. That'd be
Liquor Man
awesome.
is taken. I'm a huge Anthrax fan, said Cobwebs and Candlesticks.
And who isn't? Not the disease, the band, I assume. Boy, adding these one at a time is going to stink.
So I started a new project today. Since I'm a broke haunter, I'm going to try and build a giant rat puppet. I can't afford the Gorgonor puppets.
Of course you can build it. Here's a secret, guys. Gorgalore sells giant rat puppets, but they sell time, because big pro haunts don't have the time to make it. And maybe they don't have the staff or the skill, but a lot of it's time. When you make something like that, you might spend a month or two making it. A haunt can't afford to do that. So, because we just have such little staff year round. Dark hour being a little bit different in that case, but we do run our operation very differently. What Gorgalore is selling pro haunters is he's selling them time. Here's this really cool thing, and if you buy it from me, I just saved you 4 months of your life, because you didn't have to sculpt it or mold it or any of that. And what if it doesn't turn out right the first time? Then you're going to have an inferior giant sewer rat.
Well, I'll watch the rest later. Gotta go work a bit. Have a great night. That's Chad.
Cool, Chad.
Cobwebs and Candlestick says in ROUS.
A
I don't
rodent
think they exist.
of
Inconceivable.
unusual size. And this kind of skin detail texture that these are, this should really be the last thing that I do. I'm still just playing with how this is going to work. So this isn't like the final.
What colors are you thinking this guy?
Straw, the color of straw, that yellow with, I'm going to probably base it in yellow, and then I will hit it with brown stain to get in all these little nooks and crannies.
MKE says 2 yards of fur, plastic, bear jaw, and stuffing, one big wrap.
Cool. If you look at my YouTube channel, which you may be familiar with as you're watching it right now, the very first video, like the intro video to what the channel is kind of about, is it's me making a mythical creature called a Ku Sith, which is a big green dog. But I actually think that a lot of the techniques I use for that, you could use for your rat. As far as building up the base and the skin and all that. And now I'm going to do some testing here.
Do all of the hair suits come with the adjustable lace?
If you buy just a suit, no. But if you buy a full costume, then yes.
As you sculpt, do you worry about making it easy to make a mold, or do you figure anything that looks awesome is worth the hassle of a multi-part mold?
The answer is yes. I mean, I'm making a multi-part mold anyway. I just know I am. So there's no way I'm going to get a one piece out of this. And I'm moving towards I'm putting hair on so many things and everything now that it's nice to have the back of the mask done.
I sent the Yoda pictures on Facebook. I'm not sure. Chad Smith, I've been watching Stan Winston's videos, and they have a class on making a giant dinosaur puppet. I'm using those methods to try.
Cool.
Cobwebs and Candlestick says that the ones with the chest plate first.
Yeah, they do. They do. If it's got a chest plate in it, have the adjustment.
Built in ROUS, didn't you?
I did.
Puppy's asleep?
2, 3, yes. If they were not asleep, it'd be entirely too quiet. So what I did just now was I took some plastic shafted Q-tips. The real cheap ones have a plastic shaft that's actually a little tube. And I use these in syringes for hypodermic needles.
This is maybe call this monster the Scare Beast.
Because that's plastic.
It says Happy Puppy Day.
Yeah, it is International
It is
Puppy Day.
National Puppy Day. Speaking of, somebody's awake. Who's awake?
Boris.
Boris. Outside. Outside. Boris. Oh, you back now. Okay, keep going. Almost time for Live and Pledge.
You're right.
Just joined. What are you sculpting?
Oh, well, this is complicated. What I am sculpting is a scarecrow creature. This is, in my brain, the creature that scarecrows were based upon. This thing eats and scares crows and blackbirds. So the original people made this, you know, they used this form in order to scare crows away. And I'm making the end of the straw by stabbing that into the top. The Stalk Guardian, I like that. That's pretty good.
Since we need more Live and Pledge. Guardian of the Stalks.
Yeah.
It fears big bad wolves. Love the story behind the sculpt.
Well, I think that we're, you know, justify what you're making. Now, I know that scarecrows were originally made in the shape of men so that the birds thought that in the field. But what if there was a creature that inspired it instead of just that?
Says he's a real stalker.
Them jokes, though. And now I am variegating this bottom edge to look like some of these are longer than others. So I'm coming way up in here sometimes.
How does this monster greet people? Hey.
Who was that?
I will tell you. If he were an Asian monster, Patty Rice. Your audience is punchy tonight.
Apparently.
You have 27 thumbs up and 58 people watching.
Holy moly. Y'all must be bored out there. Yeah, on our live video that we did, our shopping network, we kept about 100 people watching the whole time. And what that tells me is normally you guys are slacking. That's what that tells me. Yeah, because now I can do a pumpkin face mask that goes over this. Straw Sentinel. That's nice too.
God help us, yes, we are bored. Line Cook Floor says, I don't miss Alan Live. Cobwebs and Candlesticks. He's kind of a straw sentinel. Vote for the name in a straw poll. Good night, Michael Lassiter.
Good night, sir.
It's almost 9 o'clock.
Well, I'm approaching a state of doneness on this. It's not done.
Cobwebs and Candlesticks says, why I was slacking, what happened was.
Okay, so I'm liking that. I'm not sold on these teeth, by the way. These teeth need some refining for sure. I have a small twisted wire loop tool that I really like. I like it so much I can't find it. No, don't eat that, it's a Dremel bit. Hold on, I gotta pull this away from my dog. Hey, no, don't eat that. Not for dogs. You can eat that, I guess. I don't think it'll kill you. That which does not kill you, I find on the lawn.
I like gnarly teeth.
He likes what?
The gnarly teeth.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep them gnarly, but they need refining.
The sculpt is extraordinary.
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls.
I'd like to see you and Ed Edmonds do a friendly competition type expo.
Well, that'd be fun. I like Ed Edmonds.
Ed would build an alien.
Ed would make an alien. That's sort of what Ed does.
FYI, ancient recipe of straw and clay to make bricks.
Yes.
Very 10 Commandments. Let's see, my pun game tonight is strong. S-T-R-A. That is thy dungeon man too. He is on a roll tonight.
Well, tell him to get off of it. And I'm working off of my center line here. I want to make sure my two teeth are lined up center. Only this part of the mouth is really open. So everything that you don't see here has to mirror this. I'm at the part of the sculpture that's one of the harder parts, because right now everything I'm doing, I have to think, will this make the sculpt better? And now I'm going backwards. If I'm not making the sculpture better, then I'm going backwards. In the beginning, you can play around with it, and you have lots of experimental room and time, and not so much now.
Ed's gray alien is phenomenal, though.
Well, Ed does good work. I mean, he is.
Now, there are a lot of puns, paid puns going on. You can just glance over to the screen. I'm not reading these all. They're on a roll.
Hey, knock it off with those puns.
I love Ed's streams. When the questions came in, where'd you get your shirt?
Yeah, that was me. And then I bought that shirt. I just hopped online and got it.
What was the shirt?
It said monsters are good.
Are good. Do you have a full costume in mind?
Yes, I do. I actually already have a scarecrow costume that I make. And this guy is he'll go with that costume with maybe a new set of gloves.
Fun's the highest form of comedy.
So says people who pun. kind of going to see me go through a bunch of tools here until I see which one gets me what I want out of these teeth. I don't want to hold back on my sculpture because I know I'm going to mold it. But I do think about molding while I work a little bit. But I don't want it to cause me to play it safe too much. I am making sure that more than molding it, what I'm thinking about is wearing it. How am I going to breathe? Where will I see?
Snowplows going by a foot of snow tonight. That is Tutwork Studios. Where are you? I'm loving this sculpt. Dead End Yard Pond. I really like it. I think I have hay fever.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, that's enough. I got 3 inches last night here. Boy, we're gonna get. We just want it to stop raining.
We really want it to stop raining.
Really want it to stop raining. We're so rained out.
What I do now is I may make the teeth a little more jagged by just putting some little rips in the bottom of the teeth. It's one thing to be bit by a monster, but to be bit by a monster that has these jagged, broken teeth, and every bite just pushes his mouth infection into you.
You've already broken outside the box by excluding burlap. If you approve puns are bad, then like the monster, you'll be eating crow. Okay, that's enough. Painted Tyvek paper makes awesome fake corn husks.
Okay.
Wow, Tutwork Studios is in Western Maine. We had a student from Maine come to Munster. Texas Jack, I'm in Texas. We're living the spring life, but yeah, I'm getting tons of rain. We're in Texas too. So much rain. Okay, here's a cool idea. Here's a cool name. Hell's Haymaker. It's a fun name.
Kind of like the Straw Sentinel.
Yeah, that's good too. Hell's Veil. That's pretty good.
If he were a superhero, his secret identity's job could be a bail bondsman.
Okay. You're just getting it worked up again. Straw Sentinel implies there is an honorable purpose that drives the killing.
I don't mind honorable purposes. Half of my time sculpting is trying to find that tool I just put down. Okay. And like I know tomorrow I'm going to come back and refine the teeth because right now they're very soft. So I want them to get a little more firm. At it.
Yes, join us, Alan. Join. Here's Zach Watchman. Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach. Jake already shipped your package, so your mask and your blank will be coming without Jake's stuff. He already shipped it off, but we got you taken care of. Good night, cobwebs and candlesticks. Greetings from Minnesota.
Greetings.
Do you have a mask?
I'm
As
sorry.
Jack says, I want to make masks too, but just for myself.
I'm going to let these end ragged and kind of become a beard on him. You know, it looks like the grooves of a record. I'm getting happy with it. I'll tell you that. I am getting to be happy with how it's turning out. I think on this neck expanse, I need to do a couple, like I have these up horns. Well, wouldn't there be these down horns too? Where the straw ends and it's just kind of put back in that bundle.
Junkyard hooligans. I can't wait to get all the masks I got from you. I don't know who
Junkyard hooligans? What name might you have
What name
used
is it under?
to buy those masks?
What if you bought something from us? They are boxed or getting boxed and on their way very soon. Not sure which ones are yours, but boy, we've been boxing a lot of stuff. Which is great. Finally call a live stream, yes.
Well,
Once all of this virus stuff is over, I would love to attend one of your classes. That is Paul Rhodes.
and I would love to have you show up.
Yeah. Jason, Junkyard Hooligans. Jason, you getting the bug blank and an Asian demon and some blanks. I believe I have that order correct in my mind. You've ordered several blanks.
We're waiting on that second bug blank to dry
Man, he's hard to dry.
because right now with all the rain here in Texas, things just drying very slowly.
So I think if I'm putting two and two together, yes, you have got a large order. We're putting some surprises in there for you too, and it is and he's almost there. Just gotta get that bug to dry. Let's see. Yeah, Paul Rhodes. Once this virus stuff is over, attend one of our classes. Yes, come to one of our monster camps. They are a lot of fun. Maybe use the straw shapes on the neck to imply neck muscles.
The issue I have with that is it would just look like muscle cording, which is, you know, just how muscles look kind of ropey. We'll take some chunks out of his lip because I like when that happens too. Don't think he would be a unified front like that, lip-wise. My straw end pokey tool I need to use up here. And he will like almost always have his pumpkin mask on him. But this is the face that's underneath. Wife, what you think of him?
I like his kind of jaw. Hello, Ezekiel.
You're doing well, sir.
Scott posted monster camps, and I started last year at Mulder's Haunted Acres in St. Cloud. That is Junkyard Movies.
Cool.
What is the best place to buy a sculpting bust?
Monster Makers has them. Bitty Mold Supply has them. So it depends where you are in the country, because they're going to be a little pricey to ship, just due to size.
He has a good, strong profile. That is Warren, third degree of terror. He was Monster Camp 2.
Yes.
Monster Camp 2.
Warren, what do you think of my Bigfoot suit I put together? I know you are an aficionado. Okay. All right, see, and now I'm picking little things, and I'll have to powder it again because I got a little book here still, or again, I should say. The tooth that should be right there, I haven't put it in there.
He likes the suit very much. It's Warren.
I want to brush these gums so I can change their texture, but not a real stiff brush.
If your Bigfoot suit gets too hot, use a Yeti cooler. I like the bust that you use. They have a wider base.
Yeah, I mean, when I make mine, I make them to flare out like this. The issue, I should break mine off and add an inch of neck, because I don't have a very long neck. So like this, if I do a big flared out piece, it would stand up off people's shoulders by about 2 inches, because my neck isn't very long. I got to do some detail inside the ear. That's another thing I need to do still. This is helping those little boogers leave. I don't mean your friends' kids. I mean little balls of clay.
What does the powder do?
Okay, so there's little balls of clay on here from all the tooling I've been doing to it. And if I try to brush those little balls away, they just stick somewhere else. So if I put powder on the sculpture, it's going to coat those little balls, and then they bounce off and they roll off, as opposed to staying on and just moving around. Drying them up. Ears really need some detail. That'll happen one day. But I think this guy's kind of neat. I don't mind him. I'm not sold on the mouth completely. It's 9:10.
Moss for the hair. I know that doesn't make sense, but it would look cool.
Well, it would.
I wish the fur on my big suit mask matched your fur suit costume. I have another pull for my Bigfoot sculpt that I'm considering going Yeti with, and I may buy a white fursuit from you for it.
Oh, that'd be fun. So his skull is doing something weird here, where see this maxilla is at an angle, and it's real evident on camera, but I didn't see it with my eye until just now. So I'm going to work on that. And what that means is cutting a bunch out, straightening it up, fixing it. Don't be afraid to fix a mistake just because it took you a long time to make it. This mouth has been this crooked the whole time, but I just noticed it. So I'm fixing it. There are times when you absolutely don't have time to fix this kind of stuff. But now it's not that time. Just getting all this excess clay out of the way. I've preserved the sculpture pretty much. That rides better. That is where that maxilla ought to be. Maxilla being the top of the mouth plate. I don't. So now these are the ends of straw. So I would use my straw tool to make it look like the ends of straw. And that'll also illustrate that better for people because of where that is.
Business side of this industry, dealing with permits, etc. The selectmen were not happy when I shared no one under 12 admitted.
I do general consultation, so that's of course part of it. But everything in the fire code, in your city code, ends in the phrase authority having jurisdiction. Meaning, it's great that we are prepared. It's great that we have a plan, but enough. It is not meeting the intent of the code. And they may say, you are building a confusing structure on purpose. You have to be better than the code. And I do not disagree with them. We do have to be better than what the written code is, because the code is written for a church. Well, it's real easy to get out of a church. You can see the doors from everywhere in it. In the middle of a haunted house, your likelihood of dying from a fire, if the building catches on fire, is way higher. Your visibility goes down because there's smoke. That smoke kills you from inhalation, let alone the heat. If you have like a plastic ceiling in there, that's why that's a big no-no. That plastic ceiling will catch fire, and then it's super toxic. There's toxic fumes on top of your regular murdery smoke. It's just worse. So I forget what I was saying. Yes, I do consultation on it, but it's going to be up to your fire marshal, your city. We have to be above reproach as an industry, in my opinion.
Scott, I started making stuff for my war tribute band a few years ago that introduced me to a few people working in a haunt, and I had to start haunting. That is junkyard aliens.
You know what? Haunting is one of the best things that ever happened to me. Haunting has taken me to other countries. Haunting has bought me this house. I mean, just haunting.
Got your wife.
It got me a wife. You know, that's where I met my wife. Um, of course, I highly recommend it. As an art form, as an expression, as a justification of being, I recommend haunting. So I like this, but I think I need to jagged this up a little bit more. That line is too clean. Let's take out some of this here.
When I discovered haunting, I found my tribe.
That's a big thing. It's huge. Where would I be without haunting? I have no idea. Why work at McDonald's? Who knows? Okay. All right, so that's a little more jagged in there. I like that better. Still looks a little bit off because the tool I used. All right, so let me get the air blower hooked up. That might scare my dogs, which is always fun. What is this? For loudness?
Your dogs.
I have enough PSI here, I could blow this sculpture off with a form. I don't want to do that.
So amazed by that quick fix on the mouth.
Well, I didn't like what it was, so I wanted to change it.
I've been haunting since I was a little kid, never professionally, unless you count the years. I used to raise money for I never had the capital to really dig into it the way I wish I could. It says I'd still be playing dirty bars and currently be broke with no gigs, as no kids. Ezekiel, Warren says, hope to see you at MHC Ezekiel, and Ezekiel says, fingers crossed this virus goes the hell away. I'm with you, brother. Keep hearing about deep dish pizza. Alan says it's good.
Dude, we're having some pizza, okay? That's all there is to it.
You've been doing so good, too.
Oh yeah, but I'll eat a whole pizza by myself.
Tell Ezekiel how much weight you've lost.
I've lost a bunch of weight. I've lost just over 30 pounds, you know. I'm trying. I just needed to be healthier. It's 9:21. It'll take about 15 minutes, and I'll work on this EVA foam mask for him.
That's why they have buy one, get one sales, Alan. Why share? Thanks for sharing as always, and it looks amazing. I hope to catch the next one. Y'all stay safe. That's Jordan Moore.
Thanks, Jordan.
Cactus Jack. Ezekiel, it will listen to the government self-quarantine. This is the first time I'll say listen to the government, but that's the best way to be going about it.
Wait, is that Cactus Jack my Cactus Jack? Is that who I think it is? Someone who I ought to go fishing with soon? This is just contact cement. Something is happening with the Haunted Attraction Association because my phone is going crazy with messages. I am on the board for the Haunted Attraction Association.
Thumbs up for Cactus Jack.
And let's just say this is a trying time for haunted houses in many ways. Okay. Don't need the Dremel right now.
Cactus Jack says, no, you don't know.
Since he has no nose, I don't have to make a bump for the nose or anything. That's good.
How about test the heat gun on his hand again?
You always should do that. Make sure it's hot. Yep, that's hot. So I'm doing a couple things. I am obviously heating this up to dry the glue, but I also am going to shape this. And if you get this nice and pliable, then you can really do cool shapes with it.
Stuff's about Transworld I was looking forward to.
Who's that?
Jeff Ferris.
Well, I was too.
Ezekiel says, you have quite the audience today. All the Bradshaws are in class with Mr. Hops. Homeschool is nice.
Hooray!
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what? Here's what's cool. There are job skills, and then there's being able to make things. When I was younger, my uncle Don was at my grandmother's for a while, and I don't know if I heard him talking or what, but he said something like, "I need some money." So he bought 1x4s, and then he built rose trellises for planting, and they were beautiful. It just had a 1x4, and he sold them. I think they were $10 each, but he built and he just put them out in front of the house. People driving by bought them. So I kind of, if you can make things, then you can make a living, and that was really ingrained in me.
Heat EVA place in one bowl and press and hold with the other. Saw a trick with 2 mixing bowls.
Yeah, I mean, depending upon the shape that you want, yes, that works. I actually have an oven that I put it in, which is actually like an animal cage. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Shape-wise, I'm happy with that. I also have an oxygen bottle top, and I'll shape it on the oxygen bottle too. Let me draw my mouth on there and stuff. I've got this straw type creature under it, and then this mask is on over top. So I want it to stay a little wide. So I don't want it too far off of these eyes. So I don't want it too dished. That's good.
Good night, Warren.
Uh,
Kind of reminds me of a folklore version of Jason Voorhees.
okay. I'm not mad at that. I think that's going to be my jack-o'-lantern face. The thickness of the foam is really going to work in my favor.
Will this be for sale eventually?
Yeah. Yeah. So part of why I'm doing this is I do think in August people are going to poke their heads up and say, yeah, I'm doing my haunted house, or yes, I'll start a haunted house. And I think a scarecrow is one of the cheapest things you can do for a haunt as far as the set dressing. I mean, if you have a field, you're kind of done. Or just a post or whatever. And I'll probably end up making a laser pattern for these masks. So I can do some quickie jack-o'-lantern masks on the laser cutter.
Are you going to use a soldering iron to place details in the EDA?
It's possible. I might not plug it in. I might just use the Dremel that's sitting right there. I could also get better, well, you'll get depth. All I'll get with the soldering iron is lines. So I probably will go with the Dremel because I want those ridges of the pumpkin.
Linda says, bet we don't go down that road again. Sure wish.
Yeah, the fact that I'm making a scarecrow right now tells you I'm hopeful for the future.
I saw your laser cut details on your apocalyptic masks. Is that something you have in your shop?
Yes. It is right around the corner. In the other room. Okay. I think I'm going to leave that nose not in it. I think I'm going to do it without a nose. I can always add a nose later.
It's been a great pleasure listening to you this evening. Can't wait to see the finished product. That was Monsters of Love.
Thank you. Let's see how this does. I haven't used this bit on foam before, so I'm testing after I plug this in. Yeah, the nose did look a little Jack Skellington. That works. I'll take it.
Where do you get the funky color hair from, like the greens and reds?
Wig store.
I may have missed it, but is the pumpkin mask part also going to be latex, or will it stay EVA for the production?
It'll stay EVA. I'll get this coated with a thick coat of Flex Seal, and then I'll get it painted that nice orange. So, yeah.
Have you integrated 3D printing into any of the masks or the accessories?
No, not 3D printing. I can tell you I don't have the patience for it.
That is what I thought. I'll have to make a road trip to town.
What's that, love?
Senator Hooligan says that is what I thought. I'll have to make a road trip to town.
Yes.
What Dremel bit are you using?
Just the stone.
Wouldn't plastic coat be cheaper than Flex Seal?
Yeah, but it's not as thick, so I need more coats. So it's actually not cheaper. And it's not about cheaper, it's about the best product. Plastic does not go on as thick.
So Flex Seal is better than plastic it?
It depends on what for. For giving a hard coating, a skin, yes.
Red liner would make that mask textured and near bulletproof.
That's kind of what the Flex Seal does. It's important to not fight your Dremel. My Dremel is spinning this way, so it wants to go in this direction. If I were trying to pull these lines, you see me spinning my work, so I'm never fighting the Dremel.
I just had an idea for some haunted paintball on
Cool.
Do you have aprons on your website?
1 second.
Here, I'll get that.
Do I have what on the website?
I got it.
Sounds like a wife question. Yeah, what's going to be cool about this is that you'll see this bright pumpkin face on the front, and then you'll also see enough of this mouth and stuff underneath. I think this is going to be nice. My Apocalypse Medical, this is a laser cut detail. See that? Foam, we cut that on the laser.
What advice do you have for someone who has never made a mask? What type is the easiest to get started with? I've got plenty of time at home now.
So, easiest to get started with? Paper mache. And I would do a clay sculpture. Paper mache on top of that. So paper mache is probably the easiest.
You may want to do something with contrasting color, as you'll have straw on pumpkin and it might not read.
Well, it's going to be orange and yellow, so it works for McDonald's. That actor's going to be hungry all night. They'll have no idea why. Like, man, why do I want fries all night? I don't know.
Last year I tried using a cheap spray rain gutter rubber from Dollar General on a few things I make, like a giant foam spiked ball club and sideboard arm, and then covered it with wax. It worked pretty good, but the rubber cracked on the arm. The club is holding up good.
That's good to know. Hey, White, you tell a quick anecdote?
Oh, I had something too. What was that? story about?
Meanwhile, look deep into his eye.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to have a quick pup update because it's National Puppy Day. And you can see that the kids have crashed out here on the floor. And also we've put a little bed over here for them because, well, they need it. So you can see the other two are crashed out over there. And I don't know about you guys, but our puppies have a lot of dreams. Very dreamy dogs. They start kicking and making all kinds of noises in their sleep, so they are pretty adorable. Be thinking, guys. Thinking what you want a story about. Because when he puts me on the spot a lot of times, I can't think of anything. But we got a million stories. So think on it and put it in the comments. I will make a note of it and see what I can come up with.
How do they know what stories to ask for?
They don't. But they might spark a memory. Oh. There's not like, we don't have any shortage of stories, but maybe they don't have anything to do with nudity. Here we go. Back to you.
I see that Dead End Yard Haunt said, no nudity.
They know. The people who know.
People who can know.
Cano. Let's see, Big Mac and fries. It looks very cool. Is that Yellow Apocalypse I see? Kirk Mattia. He sees everything. Did you want to give him a quick preview?
No.
Want to give us a preview? No?
No.
Okay.
Not till they're done.
No. How did you two meet? Who approached who? Go on. You tell us.
I was in a monster costume, so I approached her, but that was my job. You know, I was supposed to approach people and scare them. And basically, I kind of charged her group of friends because she caught my eye on the way in. I'm like, hey, head over there, and basically all her friends screamed and ran away, and she stayed and locked eyes, and her first words to me, I was a monster at the time, were, "You are beautiful." So when she first walked in, I said, "I'm going to marry that woman," and that just told me how much of a good idea it was.
All right, you. How about a story about epic costume failure? Costume failure.
I don't do a lot of costume failures. That's something I try to avoid. But okay, so I don't even know what year it was, but it was a long time ago. Shannon and I went to Galveston for a Dickens on the Strand Christmas type event. So it was. The main deal was there was a dance, a Victorian ball, and I had to wear a tuxedo. And now there's a whole side story that I completely forgot to pack my jacket, like my tuxedo jacket.
Okay. Hang on.
This is a side story.
It is a side story, but make sure that we wait. This was 2005. We had been married for a little over a year, and I at the time allowed him to pack for himself, which he could care less.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Could care less about the Victorian ball. So he's like, whatever, I'll just grab my tuxedo. He could care less about this ball. I thought
it would be jacket required.
Yeah.
I mean, it
was beautiful.
It's a very.
It was beautiful.
Snooty ass.
It was a snooty. It was lovely, but not his thing. Young wife did not. I don't make him go to these things anymore because I learned. But anyway, go finish the story.
Okay, so yeah, I forgot my jacket.
You did.
I was able to get a jacket there, but my joy of going down was the fact that they had the Strand in Galveston, like this beach boardwalk, like downtown area. They had this Dickens festival. They had all these artists and stuff, and of course people were in their costumes. And I brought a stilt Christmas tree, and it's a stilt Christmas tree. The back is flat, so I could back up against the wall and step out and say Merry Christmas and just scare the crap out of people, because I'm on stilts, and not on stilts. The costume makes you 9 feet tall, so I was like this 12-foot tall Christmas tree. And The only failure was this was the first time that Shannon was assisting me in costuming. And I tend to speak very briskly and express my needs in a very simple way, sometimes curtly, when I need something while I'm in costume. Because, I'm in monster mode, I'm not thinking. Common courtesy kind of goes out the window. It's like, the buckle, grab the other buckle, hand me that. And that's not the way to treat your wife. So the costume failure was simply, I did not prep Shannon properly for that experience. And since then, in all honesty, I don't get that way anymore.
Oh my goodness, you.
I don't, what?
You shouldn't have to say that.
I don't get that way anymore. I have calmed down quite a bit. So that is actually very helpful.
A caveat to that story, though, I will say, that is that we were driving to Galveston, and
Going to Galveston?
Alan, as we were driving, quietly realizes he forgot his jacket.
Yep.
And so the ball is that night. So we end up, he finally tells me as we are right about at Houston. And if you know how Texas is laid out, you still have some time from Houston to
I didn't
Galveston.
tell you in Houston. I didn't.
No,
tell
he
you
told me,
till we got to the
but you
room.
realized it in Houston.
Yeah.
And we got
About
to
an
the
hour
room,
away.
and he finally tells me, okay, I've forgotten my jacket. Now, Alan is not an easy person to fit, as he will tell you. He is shaped like a gorilla. And so we are supposed to find, how are we supposed to find a black tuxedo jacket
2X.
in less than 2 hours on an island in Galveston, the island of Galveston, a city we know, but we don't know where places are to go immediately. And how on earth? And his friends were just thrilled with this. Like, how's he going to pull it off? How's he going to do it this time? Because they knew he was going to figure out some way. And I was, mortified. Which, looking back on it now, who cares? But at the time, I cared greatly. And Alan gets on the internet, finds. We didn't even do internet, did we? I think
No.
it wasn't even internet. He got the yellow pages
Yeah, I got the yellow.
out of the
pages.
hotel room. And
I first called tuxedo places, and the first place I called, his words to me were, "Is this for a person?"
because he gave him
Because
his
I
permission.
know I have a 21.5-inch neck. Like, I know my neck size, and 21.5-inch neck, and I knew my arm length, but they're just not normal measurements.
So so of course none of the rentals have anything that will fit him. They certainly don't have it on a Friday night. And so Alan gets on the yellow pages and he finds thrift stores. We get in the car. Of course, I'm mad as hell. And
She was.
he has the audacity to find a thrift store, walk into it, look around and go, "What's that over there?" And he walks over, sees a jacket, puts it on. It fits perfectly. It's $8. It has one flaw that we easily covered up with a Sharpie. $8, perfect fit, matches his tuxedo pants. He looks at me and goes, "Okay, baby, we're ready to go to the ball." And I'm thrilled, and then I'm mad as hell because he pulled it off. So
Because I should be punished for
you
my
should
poor
be
planning.
punished, that's right.
She thought, surely
You're
he'll
gonna
be
get it
punished
now. Well,
for
he
poor
didn't.
planning.
He didn't. He didn't even break a sweat. Didn't even break a sweat. And so his friends then started to call him Captain Impossible because they knew somehow he was going to make it happen. And they were just, "Oh, how did it happen?" And they were just drooling at the prospect of, how's he going to pull it off this time? And he did.
And Shannon was giving them a
He did.
play-by-play.
I was, because how's that going to work out? But it did. And he always pulls it off. I don't know how. Doesn't matter. Okay, that was a long story. All right.
Easier
sorry.
in a haunt setting than at a Victorian ball.
That's true.
But know your strength. Okay, just firming up these teeth here by, setting them up. Okay, I'm liking that. It's different, man. It's different from what I thought it was going to be. I don't mind it. Again, I didn't have visual reference, and what happens when you don't have visual reference is it's hard to hold that idea in your head. What the visual reference is really for is so that you can have one target and hold on to it for a long time. Our brains aren't meant to do that.
It says, resourceful people survive. A good backhand from the wife.
Yeah, I was going to give one.
Ezekiel, is this for a person? Best Krampus story. We'll have to come up with a Krampus story. Oh, you know what? Now I'm thinking of stories. Well, I'll tell stories.
Too late, wife.
Too late. I will save them for another time.
Wife failure.
Fail. Face fails.
Yeah.
Teeth look like the pumpkin seed shape in front.
That was part of my inspiration. I actually did that on my ill-fated corn kernel mask. Okay. Yeah, that mold's in the garbage. All right, so I'm happy with this. I think I will use the heat gun to dry my pumpkin real quick.
I am at 8%.
Okay.
You have to sign off for me.
Okay.
How much longer are you going?
I'm going to go till 10 o'clock, 7 minutes. You are now literally watching paint dry. Still wet.
What is it? What is it? That's a heat gun.
Doggos are getting excited.
Good boy, sometimes things. Come on, guys. Still sit. Come on. Can you go outside?
Okay, I was kind of hoping I'd be able to paint this guy, but I think it's just going to need more dry time
It's okay.
in this environment. But I am happy with how that turned out. I did start with a faceplate from one of my laser cut masks parts. Oh, you know what? I gotta spin my camera or else they're gonna see stuff they shouldn't see.
Should we see?
That's right.
It's festive.
And then this will go right here over top of him. And this will maintain some bendiness. And I'll make it so it ties onto the mask. But that should be a nice two-piece scarecrow mask. So yeah, it's 9:56.
Says teeth look like pumpkin to the pain. Mask might be hard to sell if it's not gluten-free. People still can't believe I turned up till Transworld without anything last year. No suitcase, no clothes, a few bottles of wine. Had the best time, Ezekiel.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to do it. Where do they not sell toothbrushes? Like there's, in the United States, maybe like if Peru, I don't know. No offense to any Peruvians who make brushing.
This This is the kind of heart-stopping content I came here for. Love the texture on that. Love the live stream tonight. Thanks for sharing. Come for the sculpt, stay for the paint dry.
And let me grab a pledge.
Great.
I'm going to go ahead and pledge this. I do have to work on his ears still. His ears need love. Ears are important on a sculpture. Okay. This clay can go back in here. Yeah, that's going to be nice, I think. It'll be different. Be like a corn ogre. Hello, Samantha. Okay. I also like that there's going to be something a little joyous, you know, a little classic.
Festive.
Yeah, festive on the front, and you'll know that there's like a nasty monster underneath of it.
Can we get a close-up of the sculpt before you go?
I guess.
What's
Yeah.
the pledge for?
It is a mold release. It's a release from the clay to the plaster. Never seen a scarecrow with pointed ears like that. That's kind of part of it. He's a little bit in the goblin world, a little bit in the scarecrow world. We'll see how it turns out. So there we go. Cheney, say goodnight. Boris, say goodnight, buddy. Good night. We're about to go. And, as I always say, thanks for hanging out tonight. Go make stuff.